Welcome back, everyone, here to the Challengers League Summer Split. I'm Mazel, joined by Magical and Cubby, likely candidates, as we're getting into our second series of the day here in week number 1. We've got TLC versus Maryville, two of our very storied organizations in terms of their development of talent as a whole. TLC in the NACL environment, in the academy environment, and Maryville on the other side, our first collegiate representative, also with accolades to boot. And it's definitely where I want to start this conversation off. We already saw day one for both these two teams, very differing stories coming out of that day one, but it is just about track record for me when you look at Maryville specifically coming into the NACL league here, Magical.
And when we look at Maryville, there's a reason why we all know Maryville so well. Is because for the longest time now, since I think 2017, they have been such a big part of development when it comes to a lot of our players that we see here in the Challengers League. Like, they have been putting so much work in. Clarkey, who's the director over at Maryville University, really has made sure to build up Maryville to be that pipeline. Not only collegiate, because we saw that Maryville is also really good in the collegiate LoL system, getting second place here in the previous one that was just played this previous week, but also then making it through the summer promotions to get here to show not only are they good at collegiate League of Legends, but they can go toe-to-toe with a lot of our semi-pro teams.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to bring up our little bit of promotion graphic here that we've made for both these two teams. Specifically centered on that Maryville one and looking at their track record of those promotions. We had Niles, we had Iconic, both going to Golden Guardians in 21 spring. Spyrax was a promotion to the Academy team of FlyQuest in 22 spring, and the APA just most recently here on TLC in spring.
Like, there are even players that are unlisted from here, not to mention coaches. Like, I know that Benji and Sojin both went through Maryville. Even their coach right now, and a big person behind the scenes for them, Cat God, he participated in the split. Odd Orange even played a couple splits in Academy as well. He came to MU afterwards, but...
Evan RL is another graduate of Maryville.
This is a program where if you talk to players that are trying to go pro, even APA, he's like, this is the only college that I would consider, because my goal is going pro, and this is the one college where I can go to do it. And they proved that themselves by qualifying for this tier 2 event to play in the regular season in NACL. But this is an org that Clarkey designed to model the professional orgs that he worked with beforehand, and they've been very successful getting players to this level in the past.
And especially that guy right there all the way on the right, APA, maybe a little bit of extra sauce given to the matchup today. I know I was talking to him as well. He's pretty excited to check the ego of Maryville coming into NACL. This is his house now. But on the other side, TL have been just a bastion at this point. I always say that about 100 Thieves, but at this point, TL are the remaining bastion, it feels like, and a lot of success in that track record. But also on their side, just the developmental style they've had, the double championships last year, improving grounds, and all of these wonderful promotions we're seeing. Harry, Jan, Ayla, and Armeo, parts of that double championship roster, the 2 Chains team.
I mean, the fact that you have all these players, too, in the LCS coming up in the split is something that we all were asking for at the end of 2022. We're like, these players need to be in LCS. They won back-to-back for a reason. Please promote them, and teams listened.
Yeah, of course, Armeo not announced yet, but that is the rumor, and of course was also part of the victorious C9 last split as a coach. And I mean, TL, like, again, there are even players that are not listed here. Like, they had a hand in Dokla making it to LCS as well. I think that TL, the goal with Spawn, I talked to him about keeping the same 5-man roster this split, and he said the goal for us hasn't changed. It's to promote as many players as we can, hopefully internally, but also just externally to LCS. That's his goal. If we find success along the way, that's great. TL has been able to do that time and time again, and they've been a huge part of developing talent in our ecosystem here.
They absolutely have. And speaking of some development, though, got to look at Maryville University's roster as they have come into the league with a little bit of a rough time in day number 1, had to face some stiff competition, but it is specifically looking at what they can do after a very busy time before coming into NACL and now trying to grow throughout a very chaotic split. Magical.
They've had we always have to take things with a grain of salt when it comes to teams that are playing in 2 different leagues, right? We have Maryville playing in this one, but also earlier this week, we're competing in Collegiate League of Legends tournament, getting 2nd place there. They put all their attention into that. Honestly, understand. That's why they were drafted. That's why they have the team together in the first place. So going into this week, you know, they haven't got as much practice, but they're still a great team to watch because of the history this team has in trying to get to the tier 2 consistently.
And you can see here, I mean, this is one of them. APA, they almost knocked out TSM twice. They went to 3 games in 2 different splits. This is one of them where APA, you can see him on Maryville with the Galio. Loves to impact the map always, but really, it's wild watching this clip to me because how much APA has grown since his time with Maryville too. Just pretty crazy as he really already feels like he's leveled up with TLC and with the changes we've had, the challenges this split, 10 teams. I know a lot of people are arguing that APA could be the best mid laner that we have in the league, and man, I know it was a 1-1 split against Disguise yesterday, but he played really good against Young.
Yeah, and it was not only the mechanics, but it was also the picks coming through from him. Something that we've seen consistently be the case is he does just have those unique picks to make you think.
Love his picks.
And we're looking at this this roster of Team Liquid. Obviously, the 2 Chainz member remaining is Bradley, but besides that, they're sticking with the team from last split.
Yeah, you got the 2 Chainz from Bradley. You have the MVP of Mir. You have APA, the graduate from Maryville, playing still with the team. Arrow and Kim down. Arrow is always going to be such a great story to talk about. Back with the KT Rollsters and how much this player has accomplished in his career. And then Kim down, a player who also came from Collegiate, came from UCI, as a player that we've seen a lot of growth at from the beginning of this year all the way till now. And I want to continue to see his journey as he learns to grow more and more in the Challengers League alongside with Arrow.
Yeah, that's a lot of growth on the table in the developmental league as well. But specifically, I was talking about APA wanting to give a nice warm welcome to his squad of Maryville. On the other side,
warm welcome or is it a brutal welcome?
Maybe a little bit cold. But Niles, I was messaging Niles before the series, and you know, he wants to check the ego of APA. Says maybe he's gotten a little bit too big for his britches. But we're gonna be ready for draft now. So, guys, let's go ahead and kick off our last series of the day.
Also, don't forget Twitch Prime subs. Get in the chat while you can. Subscribe to the channel. It supports the players. It supports the organizations that we have here. I will constantly shill for this because I want to support the players and the organizations we have a part of our Challengers League.
Well, get to see a couple of them go toe-to-toe as APA gets to take on his old team. I'm surprised that Niles was the one who was like, hey, we got to check APA's ego. I feel like that would be more Odd Orange, too, as these guys competed not only with Maryville, but also way back when they were on Supernova in 2020, another team that we now have in the Challengers League. Fun fact, they used to actually block each other sometimes on the client. It's like they would talk too much trash to one another. Like, I can't take it anymore, right? Just like save it for the lobbies. It's pretty funny. There was some good stories behind the scenes for those two. But excited to see them settle it on the Rift today. I very much favor TLC. They've been scrimming on this patch. Of course, Maryville had the prep for 13.9 as of last Tuesday. They traveled back home. I don't know what the scrim schedules look like, as they've still been recovering from LA. But TLC, again, I expect them to be one of, if not the strongest teams in this league. And I expect for them to get a 2-0 against Maryville today in dominant fashion.
Well, right here, and we get through the draft, we see, you know, Nico, Yumi, and Wukong banned by Maryville. Melio, still open, still something that can get locked in. Now, I would expect that to be first pick, especially because we see a lot of focus at... Even if you could argue the Olaf is more towards the top lane, it's still something that Odd Orange does play a lot of in the jungle. 3 jungle bans levied towards Odd Orange.
We've seen a lot of Lucian get played into this lane. I do not like it. I feel like when Aphelios is locked in, Aphelios with the right guns, you can control Lucian. If you have purple, if you have white, Aphelios, his ability, the extra mobility you get from Milio, putting down those autos, I think is really strong. I'm expecting to see Arrow go for that in this game, as we should see in Aphelios picked up here. If not, this could be interesting. An old Arrow special, perhaps, Mad Magical?
Old Arrow special. We saw that a bunch in the last split, too. We saw it in spring. It's not an old one when we see it all the time.
Well, that's true, but, you know, with Arrow, he goes back to KT Arrows, the victorious in LCK. MVP with Phoenix 1 from the LCS as well. Arrow, a very storied career, and someone still...
Also a celebrity from playing BAP in the Players mockumentary.
True.
So don't forget about that.
BAP Attack. as, oh, TL, curious. Okay, so we have bot lane locked in. Nautilus going to be picked
jungle.
up here by TL. Not necessarily. I think it's still flexible for TL moving forward. We'll see what the response is
Where
from Maryville.
else?
Mid
lane? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a ton of mid Nautilus.
You know,
yeah.
that's, I'm the one who invented mid lane Nautilus. I should have known.
All right, Doinby, first off, would like his regards. Second off,
I will fight him on that. I've been playing that since well before he has. Don't even at me.
second off, of course, Nami has to get picked up to get paired up with Lucian there. So it looks like a couple bans to maybe protect Niles. Get back can play the Cassante as well, but we still expect that to be in the hands of Niles. I would like to see TL actually get rid of Gragas here. I feel like Gragas, Jace, good bans against Maryville. I have a lot of faith in Maryville when it comes to Jace comps. So if they want to get rid of that, will be a possibility. If not, Nautilus does have enough hard engage to always force into Jace. So TL might feel comfortable enough to not have to take that one away. Instead, looks like they're going to take away a couple champs they expect to get picked up. Maybe still with Niles. So maybe guessing that Cassante could go
mid lane.
still.
Yeah, I think it's a good shout too, because Get Back also can play the Pantheon. It is something they have flexed in the past, and if you're not really comfortable playing up against it, might as well take that away. Especially when we look at what Bradley could play here with that Scion being banned. Ornn is something that he also goes back to, but the Gangplank, even if Gangplank has really fallen out of the meta, it's something that is a Bradley special that he can play into so many things that really do catch people off guard.
Malphite getting banned out as well, so more champions to attack Niles on the top side. He still has had that Gnar that he played both games yesterday. In my eyes at the moment, Annie, Gragas both on the table. Frankly, I'm expecting Maryville to potentially look at one of those, but with the Ahri ban, maybe they were opening up for a little bit more aggressive mid laner here as Get Back. Velox and Akali here. I was about to say, that would mean that jungle gets counterpick. Not going to be the case, as Odd Orange will take that Jarvan. Magic damage is going to be needed now for the side of Maryville with his 5 pick, as Mir gets to respond to Jarvan. And we could have APA.
Maybe you were right. With the Kindred Hover right now, could be that APA goes on to Nautilus here, and it is going to be the mid lane Nautilus.
I don't think we're going to see this thing top. I doubt that Bradley's going to grab it. But Bradley will be forced to blind for himself. Bradley is not a Gnar player. We'll say Aatrox has kind of snuck back into the meta. Also, I would like Gragas here because you get control over the Lamb's Respite, and it's a bit of a deny from MU.
It'll also be AP damage.
Yeah, match damage would be nice. But okay, gonna be the Kennen locked in, so very safe top laner actually.
Yeah, and it's also a good takeaway from Niles too. This is something that Niles played a lot in the summer promotion. So it is kind of a little bit of a deny in that regard, just in case that Cassante does go mid lane for get back. But it will be Niles on Cassante with the hovers we've seen so far for Maryville. Syndra, I actually do like the Syndra into Nautilus mid. Having played Nautilus mid a bunch, it is one of those matchups that kind of sucks because you have to play very aggressively level 1, level 2 as the mid lane Nautilus. Otherwise, you're not really going to be able to lane into Syndra.
And this does give Get Back the ability to at least keep Kennen out. Also, you can combo with Jarvan to try and lock down that Nautilus, but it's going to be a little bit more scaling for Get Back, and honestly does give Maryville something to play towards in the later stages of the game. But for TL, I expect to see Mir and APA get very active with this Kindred Nautilus. They're going to have the ability to make plays together, mid 2v2. So important in this meta for really how you're able to impact bot lane later. So want to see if APA and Mir can really teamwork together to make sure that they have a lead and start snowballing this game forward, because I think Maryville has some options later with the Syndra.
Well, and this is why I was talking about the level 1, level 2 of Nautilus mid. This is where it's really important because you have to make sure that you're getting those advantages right away so you can go with Mir, so you can move around with him early game and try to get this Kindred in a great position against something that wants to gank all the time, like Jarvan for Odd Orange.
Spawning onto the Rift APA, staring down the mid laner that took his spot in Get Back.
Wait, Cubby, hold on. There's the subscribe now on here, and you're not chilling? What is this? Have I not taught you anything from today?
Hold on. I mean, there are not hooks about to fly here.
Well, waiting for it. There it is. Getting the flash, too.
That's big.
Out of Scary Jerry.
That's a high-value flash for free out of Scary Jerry, so TL already off to a good start.
Very good. But as I'll keep saying, as a mid lane Nautilus player, starting with your hook feels bad. Yeah, it really does mean that you're not going to have that pressure now in that lane phase to get level 2 spike early. You really want to be able to start with your Titan's Wrath or with your E. Those are really the ways you can clear out the minion wave quickly against something like a Syndra.
You know what feels worse than starting with Hook mid with Nautilus?
And starting without Flash as a Lucian.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that trade if I'm TL.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm the mid lane Nautilus player. I'm gonna focus on that. I'm not an ADC player.
Well, both junglers will be pathing towards that ADC in the bot side, as each of our junglers did start on the top side. Odd Orange will have a faster clear on the Jarvan, as Jarvan does clear sneaky fast.
Sneaky fast. I don't think it's sneaky. I think everyone knows about it at this point.
Might have the opportunity to make some plays, as at the moment TL leaving Bradley to his own device in the top side against Niles. We'll be curious to see what happens up there. Niles actually opting for the spell book.
Okay.
Mostly see Grasp on Cassante, but against the range matchup, spellbook to maybe find a couple bonus plays or two. As you can see, APA starting Hook. Some of the punishment being laid down by Get Back does not feel great for APA.
No, it is going to make that lane very hard, but he got level 2 there. That's going to help a lot with the clear. He's got it even crashed just outside of turret aggro, so Get Back won't have that leverage anymore, won't really punish him, because now if Get Back steps up, like right now, you have that hook, the flash in, easy peasy. Even if you flashed away as Get Back, he's not even going to bother because he knows he's dead and giving up first blood to APA.
Yeah. I mean, Get Back burns Scatter to harass the Nautilus, but harass on the Nautilus just doesn't matter. And with that Scatter being down, that is all APA and Mir needed to make a play onto the Syndra.
Hey, level 2. I wasn't far off, was I, Cubby?
No, that's all they needed. As Mir gets off to a quick start, now Odd Orange. There is no flash in APA, so he's going to hover mid.
But he does have that hook that he can easily Spider-Man his way out of there. You do have some safety as Nautilus, plus having your shield makes it a bit easy. Get Back, even if you wanted to. That's a really hard setup at that point.
That hurts, though, because now Odd Orange wasn't able to power clear to try and get that level 4 before the Crab, which is an option for the Jarvan.
Oh, coin flip. Ooh.
No, Mir, he's going to lose out on it.
He realized because APA didn't want to TP in. And they already knew that Get Back TP'd back to lane. They didn't have the priority anymore. Even if they had the priority bot lane, they hadn't already rotated everyone up to contest.
Relegate to the camps. Could be a double crab here for Odd Orange if Bradley doesn't check down. So Maryville will be able to find something, but still, no flash for Lucian in the bot lane. Aphelios has a free lane, and we've seen how this lane goes. The more levels that Milio gets in that W and the more items that Aphelios gets, you are able to pressure that Lucian Nami later. Not to mention, able to outrange them with the Milio W as this game goes on.
I love this from Auto Orange, though. Auto Orange, not only does he win the coin flip, getting the Scuttlecrab bot lane, but immediately booking it to the top half to deny more from Mir so they get more control, and really will slow down that pace for Mir to look for any plays for quite some time.
I still think that Mir, I mean, he's just playing off APA. Whenever APA can get out of lane, I expect to see Mir grouped up with him.
Oh, Bradley right there.
And that's where we're going to look if we are TL as Bradley.
Okay, Bradley, I think he learned from Soul yesterday. Because if you watched the games yesterday over on the LCS Challengers broadcast, Soul was playing Gragas up against Niles. Got a bit too greedy, looking for a solo kill over to Niles that allowed Niles to get the solo kill back onto Soul. I think Bradley's like, yeah, you know what? Not going to fall for it.
He also is just able to freeze the lane, force the TP out of Niles, and should be able to catch things under his turret so we can get a better reset afterwards. So not bad here for the side of Bradley, making good use of that cannon. As at the moment, for me, all eyes really going to come down to this first Dragon Man match. But I think that's where TL is going to look with Mir to try and find that first play and advantage.
I think so, too.
Yeah, bot probably will be in favor of MU, but the Nautilus with the Kindred combo should be able to find something. I think it's big that Get Back actually did end up saving that flash to prevent the second play from going on to him, because you can see right now Mir hovering mid and looking with APA.
And no longer does APA have that setup anymore to even look for it, because Odd Orange has been clearing like a maniac, so he can constantly hover around this mid lane. In fact, look at that right there. Was able to get the flag and drag combo. We got to be careful because they already got level 6 out of APA, and that flash away from Odd Orange will survive. But Niles flashing in with all out, drags back in APA, who does not have the flash, even with the dredge line, was looking for the kill back, but a nice scatter of the weight. Keep them alive, and they've got Odd Orange re-engaging. Double kill for the top laner of Maryville.
Great roam from Niles as he is able to turn the 2v2 of TL on its head, and Maryville has a lead. Niles made that one happen off the TP from Bradley. He got that wave in. Niles walked mid, saved the mid 2v2, and that's exactly what MU needs.
Scary Jerry getting the flash out of Arrow as well. Maryville across the board, gaining so much.
And the thing for me with Maryville, like even yesterday in the match that they played against EG, it's not like they were individually super outmatched in lane. It's just they didn't get enough early with the drafts that they had. As we do get a second look mid, Maryville have gotten a lot out of this draft early and have some scaling in the center, which I like. Odd Orange, good flash out after he takes that damage. Niles forces the flash from Mir. Yoinks in APA, who is down flash, and Mir, he flashed out, recommits, gets hit by the second scatter that just got back up for get back. As Odd Orange able to re-engage the double kill. That was all made by Niles walking down that Magical. Gonna help him survive this lane a little bit more against the Kennen, but also slowing down that Kindred stacking and this mid-jungle 2v2 for TL. So important because Syndra, she does scale.
And this isn't meant to be like an insult towards Niles and Odd Orange, but I always feel like they're ego players. They're players that when they make cool plays like that work, they're all smiles. This is going to give them all the motivation for this game so that they can win this one out. And this is something we saw over in the promotion tournament, where when they're having more fun, when they're just enjoying themselves, that's always when they perform the best.
I think they're confidence players.
There we go. That's a better way. There it is. Confidence. I couldn't think of the word.
They like to play with confidence. So Niles off that 2-0 start. Good to see. Most people remember Niles when he was on Golden Guardians LCS, unfortunately, with that not so great debut split. Where he was put on different duties. Arrow, he's down flash. Hold on.
Down flash, and now he's locked in the pit, even though he's got a lot of shields to help him out.
God.
The flash in from Zyko to pick up the kill on top of Arrow.
Love the play from Odd Orange. They know that they're dropping Rift Herald. He looks elsewhere, able to find something positive as Arrow forced off the wave. Scary Jerry getting further ahead. Important for the Lucianami as that increases the time they're able to pressure on the map. Maryville finding some good early plays against TLC here.
This is great to look for this collegiate squad. A team that had just played in a huge tournament earlier this week, has flown back home, and hasn't had the most scrim time. Even if you imagine the moment they land, they scrimmed them from that second onwards. That's still not enough time compared to all these other collegiate, these challengers teams that didn't have to worry about all that travel.
Oh yeah. It's a 1.5K goldie here from Maryville. That is significant. Again, I like Syndra as this game goes on. She provides a lot of value against keeping Kennen out. You can try and lock down the Kindred. Also, just Aphelios forcing him to think twice about stepping up or not when he does have those Milio buffs on his shoulders. So I think really, really good start from Maryville, and we'll see how they can respond moving forward. As it does look like, taking account into the inventory here. We do have that Rift Herald available for the side of Mir, and he's going to be rushing that Kraken Slayer as he's set his sights on the bot lane.
Set his sights. See Scary Jerry, he's pretty low. Pops down the Rift Herald, and APA, he's on the other side. No, he's not. That's the breath of life, breathing life into TLC for a dive. Even with Get Back TPing, Land's Respite was put down. Mir will survive. The play works out for TLC.
I am really surprised that Scary Jerry wasn't able to take down Kim down there. I know that Kim down still had heal, but okay. Hold on. Niles is down 2 levels, but he's still
Niles,
looking.
I respect the
He's got to be careful now.
But you got to be so careful. He's got ult, and you're all out. That means no more resistances for you, my friend. And Bradley will get a solo kill shutdown top lane.
TL turning things back in their favor. Bradley, that roam from Niles was so good mid to turn the 2v2, but he did miss out on some creeps, so that level deficit came to catch up to him there. Wasn't able to get the wave in. Bradley takes him down, and the bot side, meanwhile, I mean, Mir able to find a positive play as our most valuable prospect, returning, making a splash.
Breath of Light. It's Breath of Life, the ult. Because it gives you a slight heal as well.
Yeah,
So
if he just cues Kim down, though, maybe you at least get the heal out or force him. Scary Jerry splitting damage, getting greedy there, wasn't able to find a single kill.
yeah.
And then no response as Lamb's Respite. Mir made sure to, he was stuck there while that last turret shot hit. Let's see that 2v2 again. Oh, APA.
Nice hook.
Oh,
Get back.
no.
He's got flash, but they can chase this one down. Yes, they do. Biting down with Wolf.
The scatter went the wrong way. Also, APA showing some cool Nautilus mechanics there, kind of hiding the starts of that dredge line animation as he was able to throw it as he was auto-attacking the last minion. It's one way to hide it. If you've ever watched Keria play Nautilus, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He is the best at that. As APA showing that he has some proficiency over this champion as well that was really so meta-defining for a couple teams at MSI, specifically G2.
One of my favorite interactions with Nautilus is not only hiding the auto, but using the auto reset with your W and your E in order to hide it even further. So it really looks like it just came out of nowhere, and people are just like, what is going on with this champ?
Yeah, I mean, if you're on like less ping too, you can use the S key to like fake the auto.
Yeah,
And then throw out the hook. It's pretty gnarly.
You know what I'm talking about. Oh, God. Just always seeing the, like, Keria do stuff like that, too. You're just like, this is disgusting. How is this okay? Speaking of being disgusting and okay right now, APA.
APA is he's a little bit behind enemy lines. They're trying to find Auto Orange. Auto Orange could be in trouble here.
Sneaky spy. They spotted out Auto Orange, and APA is like, oh, hey, I can show up to this one. Flash forward, dredge line, flag and drag right into the waiting arms of APA, but they got the TP on top of the flag as well. Getting in the root. That's going to be an unleashed power on top of APA, but even Shroud absorbed so much of that all-out burn by Niles. That's Bradley in the middle, slicing down Maryville.
Mir didn't even need the press R there as it was calculated from TL. They win the top side 3v3 in heavy fashion as Bradley, I mean, he had ult, he had proto belts available, and he just smoked all Maryville with that ultimate.
Really did. And for TLC, the early play from Maryville, you know, it was nice. It was great seeing. But maybe I was right by saying ego players because they played a little bit with ego. And now TLC have punished them twice in a row. Mir is now 3-1-2 on Kindred.
And he is the focus. When you're playing Nautilus mid, it's about enabling your jungler. We know that Mir has the hands as Auto Orange. I gotta give him props. A bit of a creative escape here as he was at least able to get over the wall. And that last auto didn't connect with Mir to proc the E. So you think it's a decent start with Nautilus out of mana, but Nautilus is just too damn tanky. Get Back doesn't have enough damage. He has to respect Bradley, who also has flash up. So Bradley, he pops the R. Yeah, everyone's in the Cataclysm, so Kennen can't get back. But still, Niles, Auto Orange, the Bash Brothers, they melt to Bradley's Kennen. And that Kennen's really far ahead now as he is already halfway to that Shadow Flame, Mad Magical. Given the items in the inventory, and man, TL, game plan for them is just to keep on making plays with this Nautilus. Flashes are down. Anyone who is missing flash against Nautilus Kindred, they have to be wary of the plays that APA can find on you.
But this is also where you look at the difference between a team like Maryville and a team like Team Liquid Challengers. Team Liquid Challengers have a huge infrastructure to fall back onto. Though Bradley, will he survive all this? Wow, okay. I'm going to go back to the point I was making. Bradley maybe still actually in danger as Niles is hunting him down. He's able to get the stun. He's got no boots, but Bradley's got the boots. He's out of there. Okay, back to the point I was making. TLC have this huge infrastructure to rely on. So you have these players that are new, like APA, where he played with Maryville. And even though Maryville have a good infrastructure too, it's a little different when this team has been built to try to get into the LCS as soon as possible, right? You're looking to promote these players. And that's why we highlighted that Team Liquid Challengers, they already have a history of promoting their players from 2022 to now, and are looking to continue that. That's because they are all built with the knowledge that they want to grow, and seeing how they take a play earlier, where they fall behind Maryville, but are able to be patient, wait it out, reset on the map, and not get themselves in a position where a lot of other teams might fall behind like that and be like, okay, it's doom. But they're like, no, how do we fix it? What do we do to bounce back?
Oh, Bradley is down flash. He's locked into the Cataclysm.
Got
Hold
Slicing
on.
Maelstrom and got a lot of damage on Odd Orange. He wants to trade this back. He wants to get a 1-for-1. He will. And even though he does die to Niles, who went all out, the fact that he was able to win 1v2 is huge.
And it enables Mirror to drop the Herald up top and go for a double crash. Is TL going to try and get this into the inner turret and take that for themselves?
Should be able to escort this one, even though Scary Jerry and Zyko have set up a death rush. Arrow, does he realize? Kind of being careful. He does. He's like, hey, wait a minute. I don't see anybody trying to stop the Shelly crash. There's probably people hanging out here.
You know, Scary Jared to pick up both as they do take the bot outer turret in response, but it still is TL who are ahead on the play thanks to Bradley taking that 1v2 and getting a 1-for-1. Again, I think game plan for TL is wherever Nautilus is, fish for those dredge lines, those hooks, and Mirror, whatever side of the map he's on, that's the side I expect APA to hover. As the two of them, they have to dictate the map, dictate the plays that are going on.
And so far, APA has been doing a great job of tag teaming with Mirror, getting him far ahead of Odd Orange. Even though Odd Orange has been doing a lot on the map, he has not been silent. He's very proactive. Unfortunately, it's just really difficult to deal with a Nautilus mid that is getting tankier and feeding a Kindred.
Yeah, Knight's Vow now on to Mirror as if he wasn't fed enough is okay.
Okay. Oh, nice pull. Scary Jerry, goodbye.
It's too easy with the Nautilus setup when you're missing sums. As Scary Jerry, he didn't flash that depth charge to get behind the turret, so he gets yoinked on in. With him falling, I will say there are no objectives available for TL to take, but they can still dive more.
I was like, what about the objective of picking up a kill like that? Mirror, Lamb's Respite, you know, it is a great get out of jail card, but can you actually get out of jail when Niles is here to take down one? He pulls Kim down far away. Hello. Kim down is gone, but they save Mirror's life.
Does Mirror have... Okay, he doesn't have the Trinity Force yet. Yeah, once he gets that Triforce, that's going to be very scary. They were able to pick up mid tower out of that. I still love Mirror. Mirror's been so disciplined with the Lamb's Respites. It's a small thing on Kindred, but something that's, I think, really separates Kindred mains from Kindred, you know, people that just play Kindred. When you drop that R, he waited for Get Back to go down, then threw down the Lamb's Respite to make sure that Get Back fell, and he didn't.
Did he flash smite that one away? He did! Oh my, Mirror!
Maybe he thought Arrow like had ult available with the Graviton. He's like, all right, we can go for this. Or APA's like,
no,
hey, I got depth charge.
Mirror's like, that's
Purely
my
mental.
Scuttle Crab.
Purely mental.
He's taking a page out of Blabber's book, and he's like, no, all for Scuttle Crab.
I mean, how many stacks does that put Mirror at? I saw the mark go off when he picked that up. Was that for 4? That's for 4. That's hilarious, actually.
It could be. Oh, it was for 4. Oh, that's why he did it. Oh. Oh, well, GG? GG?
It's not, no, I mean, not GG.
No, it's GG. You have a champion now. Mirror's a champion now.
As if he wasn't before?
That's what I'm saying. Now you see why I'm like, you have 2 champions. And the value of Mirror.
So you're saying that the Wolf and the Lamb are both now online,
Exactly. And it's going to be very difficult now to do much against Mirror, especially if he has APA in the back pocket, like we've seen already many times.
Here we go.
Having Melio on your team too, so Breath of Light, cleanse that you can have if you're ever locked down. There's so much going TLC's way.
At the moment, TL, you're going to try and play this one through bot, so dropping the mid prio. I do like this with the Nautilus. You can find angles. They have spotted out 2 of the solo laners, 3 now. They should assume that people are in that pixel brush or around.
They do. Look at how Bradley's positioning right now. He completely knew something was going on there. As Maryville, with all 5 members grouped together, they have to be afraid of Bradley's flanks. They know that he is on the other side, but that's why they have to be so tepid when stepping into this pit.
Everything's going to go off the dredge line. As Bradley is spotted, so good scouting here from Maryville. They're doing a decent job of marking their flanks, but APA, that's going to be one dredge line is okay, Bradley.
Okay, looking for Bradley, but Bradley was able to get so much damage, and he kills Odd Orange. He loses his life, but the team gains the objective. All the while, Niles in the pit has to dash over the wall. He even had to flash just to burn that away as APA is on the hunt, chasing down Dredge line back. That damage onto Niles. Is he taking it or is he not? Because there's so much coming out as they are outputting that onto Scary Jerry, flashing away with Zyko on his heels, trying to keep his ADC alive.
Aaron's up. Can TL look? I mean, if they can stop some of these recalls, they might be able to just sprint towards it as Niles is going to get canceled again.
And Niles doesn't have TP
over,
either.
here we go.
So Niles, he's got to go back to base, has no TP. There's no way they can contest this unless there's a YOLO steal from Odd Orange.
He cannot get back in.
Can he?
Okay,
Can he?
maybe.
He's on the other side, spotted out.
You can get
There's
goofy
no
with Lam's
flashes. There's a TP. That's going to be from Get Back going into the pit. Oh, no, it's Niles. He barely gets in. Odd Orange is in the pit. They've dragged down. He's yoinked him. They stole it away. Maryville have caught this game going continually, even though Mir is on the hunt, was looking for Niles. But somehow, Maryville, Odd Orange, and Niles, all of them make the heist work.
I mean, greedy coming out of TL, trying to stick it, and Niles makes the play as he says, hey, you know, Baron Pit, you got to be in here to smite it. Nope, I'm going to go all out, take the Kindred out of the equation.
Love it.
And Odd Orange able to get in there. I mean, it's textbook, and once this TP comes in, TL, they could have backed up. They saw Odd Orange here.
Look at him. Look at him.
You know,
I love that pause. That pause was beautiful.
That's dirty. All right. Yeah, Mir gets yoinked out of the pit. Couldn't even drop the Lamb's Respite to get goofy around that. I think that's what Mir and TL were anticipating, using that to maybe keep it alive, get Odd Orange though, and then CCO or just have a weird smite fight from there. But no, Niles takes him right out of the pit. He's happy to go down for that one. Well worth it for the side of Maryville as they get some much needed gold in their pockets.
Much needed gold, more time so they can get more Syndra bucks in Get Back's pockets. But really, they have to gain some gold as well. They have to topple some of these structures and not lose too many themselves, because they're the ones with the Baron buff, but they're not the ones with the pressure on the map.
I mean, APA able to take this outer, but it doesn't really matter. He's not grouped right now.
Yeah, but he's got TP. Well, not yet. It's going to be up in just a second. There it is. It's up, and that's the biggest thing, because look at how much vision is around this top side for TLC. And the Arrow getting a lot of damage and a triple root 2 onto the members of Maryville, who aren't really ready to fight because they already have Odd Orange down below 50%. Even Scary Jerry gets chunked out so heavily by 1 Q of Bradley.
If you keep the tower alive, I think big key still is going to be this upcoming dragon fight. As I still think it's tough for Maryville at the moment. For me, a lot of it's going to fall onto Get Back Syndra, because he has to have big enough scatters to reset fights in favor of Maryville and to open up space for Scary Jerry to actually be able to step up and play, which is so difficult against the Milio Aphelios, as we saw Meech and Zazel play so well in the last game. Arrow has the ability to do the same against the Lucian, who will have a lot of trouble finding the range to get involved.
Not even just an Emilio Aphelios. You got a Cannon on the other side. Yeah. You have Nautilus, who's just going to use Depth Charge on you every single time he sees you. It's so difficult for Scary Jerry to do anything. So they really have to... It has to be all on Get Back's shoulders in order to pick up this game.
1:15 until the dragon spawns. This Baron for Maryville, very much more of a steady the tide of the ship type of Baron, right? They weren't able to really get too much gold out of it, but did get this game back to being close. And that's important, as again, this Nautilus, he falls off. He's really here for the tools. He's not here for the damage, whereas Syndra, he can be very lethal at the later stages of the game.
Well, see, that's the problem, though, is, well, yes, APA on Nautilus will fall off. You think Kennen and Kindred are going to fall off?
Oh, Kindred is very fed.
And that's the biggest thing, is that it's not about the Nautilus being fed. It is all about setting up Mir, the MVP of Spring, to carry this game over Maryville.
He was our most valuable prospect. As, okay, that's an aggressive TP from Niles. It will force Mir out, most likely. Some good chip damage.
Doesn't even force him out. He's just like, yeah, you know what? I don't think that anyone else is going to go for this one. They weren't set up.
They haven't found Get Back. Okay, now they find Get Back.
Oh, and Scatter's gone. Do you read the timer on that one? you look for anything. It doesn't seem that TLC do. Instead, they're just going to crash a minion wave into the tier 2.
Yeah, Bradley's going to try and wrap around, but MU's done a nice job of marking Bradley yet again, and they might even go for him here. Really well done. I like this.
Keeping him very far away. They all went over the wall, but they still got to be cautious because it's not like he's fully out of it. He can still TP. There's plenty of wards that he has that he can get right back into the thick of it.
They haven't found the control ward behind him. There's a control ward in that hot brush that they have yet to spot. MU.
Right, that's
Wait
big.
for APA to find his depth chart. They're going to sync this up. They're going to sync it up. They're going to sync it up.
They still haven't spotted out. Look at that. Look at Bradley. There it is. Finally, they spotted it out. But Scary Jerry got chunked huge there from the Moonlight Vigil. They re-engage. Orange! How do you keep stealing these away, man? But you do die for it, and Bradley TP'd. What happens now is not going to be pretty. Maryville are completely corralled. They have no other choices but to fight. The flash in, looking for the double knockback. They're focused on get back. They have Landry's fight. Mir will survive, and they get one kill. They've only killed Mir so far, but Bradley was low too. Get back kiting away from APA. Zyko has to give his life for ire, but with the dredge line landing on a get back and arrow chasing down the kill, he gets himself a triple through it all.
Textbook from TLC. The only reason that Mir went down, he stepped off of his old ultimate.
Yep.
But TL, they wiped the rest of the fight, making that one look quite easy. Still playing off of this Nautilus. And the amount of damage that the rest of the comp has, he's just a beefy support, man. As you can see, Maryville, they did a decent job of setting up. They made sure that Kennen couldn't get the worst flank in the world. But it still is Odd Orange sacrificing himself for the Dragon. And once he gets split off, look at how high the health bars are for TL. And look at how much they chunk Scary Jerry thanks to the poke damage connecting from Arrow. TL, it's just crawling sheep at this point, right? They're making sure that Maryville all stacked up against each other. Yeah, Niles takes Bradley out of it, but still get back. He's splashed down, and he's eliminated instantly by the side of Mir and APA. As, I mean, he's only forced for the hills. He can't really get anything done, and now APA is going to continue to look forward.
Well, we got Baron again, spawned
this
up.
Time.
But this
see what
time,
happens.
It will be really... I don't think TLC will let that happen a third time. They're not going to let an objective get stolen away from a third time. That's why they're looking for the fight well beforehand. They're not even letting it get to that point.
Yeah, APA taking no damage there on the Nautilus. He is 2 levels ahead of Niles, by the way. And with the Nautilus just grouping so much and still being level 15, it's really forced Niles to respond. He can't really side lane against the Kennen, as Bradley is ahead. Niles has been forced to respond to contest all these objectives for Maryville, but they're down 5.5k gold, and this setup is looking prime for the Baron, as MU has snuck 1 ward in the top side Tri-Brush behind a Baron that they could use to TP flank, as it has just been started by TL. So get back, now that he took the center, it has just been hit. They will spot this, and now it's up to get back. He's just going to insta-TP. That's very far away. This is gone.
Yeah, that's 50%, and Mir dashes over the wall. They're actually looking for a play instead. Odd Orange was able to find Bradley, but he has to go golden in order to survive, and they need him in the pit. They've got Zyko. Zyko is picked. Mir going to be the one they look for with All Out pulling him back. They've traded 2 for 1 at the moment. Wait, no, 1 for 1. Sorry, because Odd Orange is still alive, but he's so low. They have to be careful because you can tell that TLC are not done. They don't want to just let that be a trade of jungler for support.
Well played from Niles. Like, he traded up with that R, able to rip Mir back into the team as TL things have gotten a little bit sloppy from them in some of the team fights, some of the micro play, but still they are the ones that are in control. This might come down to more dragons, as Odd Orange has had a couple of really big steals in this game to keep Maryville in it, but still feels like Maryville is slowly falling behind here.
Well,
get back.
Does, but at the same time, I'm actually going to say that some of these plays from Maryville, where they're really dragging this game out, it's really so they can start cashing in on Syndra. Because before this one, you see the needlessly large rod. There's the turret that was taken down bot lane, the tier 2 by Getback, and he's got a lot of gold that he was able to pick up top lane. If they can get this kill onto Bradley, that means they can translate this into even more control. They're looking for at least the flash. They do burn flash out of Bradley, out of it all. Odd Orange will have to be escorted back by Niles to try to keep him alive because they cannot lose the jungler. Whoa!
Looks like a Felio Assault burned to one-shot Zyko in the mid lane. That could be enough.
That should be enough.
Prompt a Baron start, given how low Odd Orange is.
Right, that's the big thing, is not only do they get the pick onto Zyko, but then they get Odd Orange down below 50% health. But Odd Orange is not backing up, and Bradley is still here on the flank, 50% on that Baron. Taking away the control ward, putting down the flag, dashing away, waiting it out. They dash over the wall with Mirror 2. Baron will be reset, but TLC right back onto the objective.
It doesn't matter. They can tank this forever with Milio. They're just going to wait to find a good turn here with APA as Depth Charge is available along with the Cannon Ult and TL. Actually showing a little bit more restraint given that Dragon is spawning in 20. Looks like they want to play for that.
Want to play for that. Don't want to risk another steal that somehow Odd Orange can sneak his way into the pit, but we got to take a look at the replay. Yeah, he just did nearly two. He gets 2-shot.
Milio W. Increased range. Not calculated there by the Nami. Psycho falls. And now Dragon going to be free for the side of TLs. They still maintain full control of the map. And after this, then it's Baron, what is it, like V3, V4 at this point?
Something like that. There's a lot of attempts that we've had on the Baron. The one saving grace for Maryville here is this still is not the soul for TLC that they picked up. It's only their 3rd Dragon of the game. And Get Back has actually completed his death cap from all this. That's really what we were trying to set up before, is waiting out for Get Back to complete this crucial item so you can really burst down these members. And they actually didn't know that anyone was there. So Niles dashes back, getting a little bit of damage onto APA, but Arrow completely untouched. Same with Bradley.
They're going to catch the wave high as MU continues to hold this angle. Oak damage from TL, though, it's too much, especially with the guns that Arrow has. I think green-white really valuable for him here as Odd Orange going to get chunked down again. TL have the fast track to the mid-inner turret. This will be all theirs.
Should be able to easily topple another structure, more gold into their pocket, as Maryville have to answer that wave because they don't want to lose inhibitors. You know, despite this game going on as long as it has, like for TLC, like we thought this would be a game that they would have won a lot sooner. It still does feel very controlled from them. Like this feels very typical of what we saw from TLC last split, where they were very cautious, very paint by numbers League of Legends.
I think that was the change that we actually saw from TL as we got closer to the playoffs. It felt like TL, they were always playing these early game comps, but they really cleaned things up closer to playoffs and keeping this crew together as 5. It seems like a lot of the macro lessons they took, especially the last half of the season as we got closer to playoffs in spring, where they really doubled up, going from the 9 seed in playoffs to a top 3 finish.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it that way.
Yeah, it feels like it's stuck, you know? They're still making some decent decisions around the map.
Yeah, there's a couple mistakes here and there, a couple hiccups like the smite steals from Auto Orange, but it still has felt like this is just all about the macro for TLC, something that Spawn really has drilled in since the team that we saw last year carrying over to this one.
That is one Fed Kindred as
no, Get Back. Oh, that's big. Get Back dying right there. That's the one that you needed to rely on, and without him, look at TLC, they're like, hey.
Did not even burn ultimate for that. That was just a QW auto, and the damage from Cannon with the Void Staff going to be too much as Maryville, they give up, and he can test on the Baron, so Baron falls finally in favor of TL. And they're going to have to respond now to the push from Maryville as they take 2 towers out of this, but I think TL will be happy with this as they can get a lot more and start breaking these inhibitors now that they have the purple suits on.
There's not much they lost from that. 2 turrets here really is what the price you'll pay for not only getting that pick onto Get Back, but getting the Baron, like I said, wearing the purple suits as they can now push. I know. You gotta love the flubs. How old are you? How old are you, Cubby?
It's never good. I'm gonna laugh at that till the day I die. Come on.
How old are you? Come on.
Come on. It's part of the fun in life.
Poople. How's that? I'll say it fully.
Well, time for TL to, you know, make sure that with the purple suits on, they are able to do what they came to do against Maryville, and that is take the win. This game's gone a little bit longer than what I expected, but it still has felt like the game plan for TL has been pretty sound. I think that Scary Jerry and Zyko have had a moment or two where they have been able to maybe push pressure the map a little bit, but nothing really to the amount where we've been worried for TL in this game. But hey, I could have been saying that I expected this to be a convincing 2-0 in favor of TL over Maryville. And it's good to see Maryville put up a little bit of a fight. I gotta say, I think Auto Orange has actually had a decent start to the split. in terms of jungling. I know that Maryville's probably about to drop 0-3 here, but Auto Orange has had some nice moments in these games. A couple steals in this one that kept him in, and also some decent pathing on the recovery yesterday that actually gave him a chance, I think, against EG in game 2. But at the moment, TL, they're knocking on the doors.
Ooh, Maryville.
It's been too easy for them.
Yeah, this game is ending before you even realize it right there. As Niles was trying to set up a side lane push, but they've already lost one Nexus turret with one remaining. The chunk that they're getting onto these members, waiting for Niles to get the pullback onto Bradley, pulling him as well. He doesn't get the slightly maelstrom. Huge counter the wake into the backline as well. But APA is absorbing a lot of pressure, and a huge Moonlight Vigil is going to chunk out the members of Maryville. All the while, TLC waiting. They have to be so cautious because now Arrow being the front line, getting jumped on by the Cataclysm, pulled in, but they turn it around. Arrow's just too huge and cannot be silenced in this fight. And with nothing stopping Arrow, he looked to see if he can get a quadra kill on his Zyko, but instead ends the game.
Yeah, that Aphelios Milio gets quite scary throughout the game, is giving Aphelios more range to interact. Really powerful no matter what guns you have your hands on. Arrow made full use of it there. I will credit Maryville. There were some good moments. I think Niles had a nice Cassante game. Yeah, he did drop a lot top, but that find in the mid 2v2 skirmish was good. We also had him yoinking Bradley a couple times, yoinking Mirror a couple times to give Maryville some winning angles, but still felt like TL with that comp. I mean, Mirror got ahead, and Mirror was an absolute menace that game.
Look at the goal. Look at the damage.
Holy
just look at that.
Smokes. I mean, that's what happens when you have a Nautilus to play through and Emilio to empower double marksman. Solid comp. I like the draft from TL. I feel like that's a really strong strategy on this patch. And despite a couple flubs here and there and a couple decent plays and steals from Maryville, still was TL in control.
Feel like that Melio got so much extra mileage that it's just not shown through that graphic. It's just how, like you said, the fact that it's buffing up double marksman, and you have a Nautilus on top of it, so you get extra CC. That then the front line that he provides, so that Bradley can play this flanking Kennen. Everything just looked so good for TLC.
And again, this is a team where we expect them to be top 3 this split. They were top 3 last split. There were only 10 teams this time around. They kept the same group of 5. They grew a lot. Want to see them continue to grow into this split, and good to see them take some of the lessons they took, especially in how they played map last split, already applying that to this summer. As TL looked good in that first game, we'll see if they can make it too.
Yep, we're going to toss to a break for now, and we'll be back with myself for a Rally Cry halftime show after this break.